How are you feeling about the Spurs and Wemby and a week into the season?
I think we've seen kind of what the Spurs are going to be interesting in parts, and then they are just giving. We've see this. You give minutes to not NBA rotation caliber players, and those minutes kind of come back and bite you. And then sometimes your guys come back in, and you're able to take advantage of the other team missing every shot and you get back in the game. But I think that for people who are thinking that the Spurs are going to get up into high 30s and get Victor into the defensive player of the year conversation. I don't know who would do that.
I have no idea who you're talking about. Not at all.
Yeah. I think that's it's sort of I think I'm recognizing it's easier for me to recognize the faults in other people. Obviously, it's the mistake I made with Detroit last year, where it's like, oh, they got some dudes, this could be interesting, and then it's like, oh, except they also have those dudes who play, and that sort of. So you see kind of the green shoots there, but obviously this year is not going to be the year for the Spurs yet, despite Wemby being, he hasn't shot the ball well, but I think the what everyone touted about him is on full display.
I think the other thing with the Spurs to kind of just take into account is like this is like just a season where they're trying to figure out who they are, what they have, and who fits. And I think that's kind of like, they know who they're building around. And now it's a matter of like what works. Is, Keldon Johnson a dude? Is Devin Vassell a dude for them? Is, Sohan, this point Sohan project kills me. Because I just think that's a bad idea. But like they need to kind of figure out, who works and whatnot.
Well, the point Sohan thing seems to me like, okay, Keldon Johnson has to play. Devin Vassell has to play. Victor Wembanyama has to play. And then you need a center because Victor Wembanyama is not playing the 5. So where else are you going to play Sohan? And I think like he is one of their 4 or 5 best players. It's a matter of trying to get him on the court with those other guys. I mean, I at least I understand the idea. Hey, let's just put them out there. They'll figure it out. Maybe we get a little bit more motion-based offense. But Trey Jones has just been by far and away the best point guard for the Spurs. So like if you want to
he's kind of the only point guard for the Spurs.
So, that's fair, right?
I get the idea of like, let's get Sohan out on the floor. So we have to make him a point guard. But like, this is a dude that's never played. Like, I know he played some of it last year, but this is a dude that never played the position really well enough. And it's, point guard's hard. Of all the positions in the NBA, being a point guard and feeding everybody. And I think what, experimenting with that with Sohan also hurts the other guys because we've seen it. They have guys that can't get the ball into Wemby in the post. I mean, the amount of crying I'm going to do over post entry this season is going to be rough. But I think we have those issues, and I think we're watching everything. And I think this is the thing with the Spurs is they do need a legitimate point guard. And Trey Jones, I'd like to. I keep screaming it. Go after Malcolm Brogdon, or something. They need a steady hand at point guard that can really handle it, and that's how you get to potential play-in and whatever we want to talk about with them, and whatever that idiot said about Wemby making defensive player of the year.